Hello everyone, it is ShadowsMom and I'm here to present to you guys some Starcraft 2 action, which I very seldomly get to say. We've got INFMistaWurm up in the top left hand side of the star station here. As we can see, he's our blue Protoss player. And on the top right hand side of the star station we got our Terran player, MaRiJaH. I probably totally butchered that name, but you know what? Whatever. You know, we seldomly get to see, well, unless they're streaming, we seldomly get to see lower than like Master Grandmaster players in, you know, any replays come out from them. I'm fortunate enough to get some replays here and there, you know, because I am accepting replays, and I'll talk about that at the end of this video. But yeah, these guys are certainly not Master, they're not Grandmaster, but they're on their way, hence why they are laddering. They want to get better. And we see nice early scout from INFMistaWurm come out here. I mean, it's not super early, it's pretty standard timing actually, but we still don't see the scout coming out for here, or coming out here for our Terran player, which, you know, there's so few places that Mr. Worm can be. He can be either down here, he can be down here, or he can be up here. Obviously, Mr. Worm knows where his opponent is, and we got the standard barracks, or refinery after barracks. I can't talk tonight. And that's actually my daytime job, is to talk. But anyway, yeah, it's going to be standard one gate opening right now. We don't see, you know, anything else coming out for our Protoss player, which, I mean, is probably saving towards something, just don't know what. And what is he just spending money on probes? I assume he is. Yes, he is. And he's also going for his double gas. Could be indicative of a few things. Maybe want to get, you know, the mothership core out ASAP, which obviously is going to need his, again, this tells you how often I cast Starcraft 2. He's going to need his cybernetics core, which he obviously doesn't have, but there he goes ahead and drops it, and he should be getting in the next minute or so. And let's see, we've got just a standard Reaper coming out here for our Terran player, and he's actually going to be scouting the wrong direction first. We got a double Reaper coming out here. That's not something you generally see unless you want to put on just some early game pressure, because you got to remember, they did nerf the Reapers. They don't do as much damage to light now. They only do 4 damage total to anything. And yeah, before, I believe it was like they did like 10 damage to light units, and they actually had an extra attack to buildings. But as we can see here, he actually went for a fast expand, so Reaper expand. But our Terran or Protoss player already knows this, so he's going to be thinking of a strategy to counteract this. And as we see, he's got his mothership core just popping out now, and he's probably going to go ahead and move out with it, or he might keep it in base. Looks like he's just going to keep it out here as natural to defend. Because really, what can Reapers do versus mothership cores other than run away? Nothing. They can try and get some probe harassment in, but the mothership core is most likely to kill the, you know, to kill the Reapers. What I'm trying to get at here, because, you know, mothership core can fly, Reaper can't, obviously. But yeah, let's just see what the follow-up is. It looks like it's going to be just some Marines, nothing too strenuous right now, and we got a second command center on, or third command center rather, on the way. He's going to go ahead and upgrade his first CC to an orbital command, which I highly recommend anybody doing that, because hey, mules and scans are pretty nice. Not gonna lie, you'd actually be a noob if you use the call down extra supplies. Unless you're bronze, then it's like, it's forgivable. Let's be honest here. We got the Twilight Council on the way, as well as the Warp Gate. Warp Gate, you know, on just one gateway, I'm a little iffy, but here we do see Reapers did go ahead and get quite a big chunk of kills here. That's not the button I'm looking for here. Let me see if I can actually find it. Alright, let's go ahead and do that. And yes, so units lost here. We've got 5 units being killed so far, and we've got just more probes dying here. And the photon overcharge comes in to save the probes. That's 6 workers killed for MaRiJaH, that's a little too much for our Protoss player at this point in the game. I mean, obviously he's going to be able to chrono boost them out. We actually see our Protoss player going for early DT rush. He's got his War Prism on the way. He's got the Dark Shrine on the way. But what has our Protoss player, or our Terran player for that fact, seen? He saw the robotics facility. He saw Warp Gate being researched, but nothing else. He doesn't know about the Warp Prism. He probably saw it being built, but he could have thought, hey, that's just an observer, nothing too serious. And this DT is going to hit at a sweet timing. There's going to be no missile turrets here. There's not going to be enough energy for scans on... Actually, there's going to be enough energy for scans on one of the orbital commands, and that's probably going to be a mule drop here in just a few seconds. There's going to be almost no scan energy available whatsoever, and this is going to hit a sweet, sweet timing for our Protoss player. One thing I will say is neither player right now getting supply blocked. Look at these supplies, 50 out of 57 and 40 out of 52. It's definitely what he needed, and there was his mule drop. He's definitely saving to, get his mule drops going. And, having a little more afterwards, but, I don't think he's going to be able to spot the DTs. He's about, he actually can scan right now. He actually does the wrong thing and lifts up his orbital command right here, and that DT is just going to be able to go to town. Both DTs actually going to go to town. Got 3 kills on this DT so far, 4 now. And this DT just breaking in the kills as well, going straight for the mule, which that mule was about to time out anyway, so that wasn't a big deal. But the DTs right now are just completely wrecking the mineral lines. This DT scared all of the SCVs away from that mineral line, and wow, that's going to be an oversaturation if he decides to mine there, and that is definitely oversaturated. That DT is gone. That is 2 scans wasted, and he has just enough energy for 1 more scan. And the DT right now has 7 kills. Granted, I think 1 or 2 of them might be on a Marine, and our Protoss player goes right out of range of the scan. Very, very well played right there. And now he's just going to get a kill onto another Marine here. Nothing too essential, but he's actually going to try and delay the tech a little bit. He's going right for that tech lab. Stim did finish, so he's going to actually delay the combat shield. And no, he actually won't. The Marine's killed off, and he actually will deny it because the tower plate doesn't go ahead and repair that tech lab. Tech lab just burns down. Overall, 12 workers killed for our Protoss player now, and still only 6 by our Terran. So he definitely more than evened it up and made it worth the cost of the 2 DTs. He also made plenty of scans go out that were rather unnecessary. He does have his engineering bay up, so he could have just tossed down, missile turret here at about the 7-minute mark before those DTs even hit. Obviously he has the missile turrets there now, but they're too little too late. The DTs right now are being used for Archons. That's probably the wisest choice. He's going to have maybe 1 or 2 DTs for defense, and then he might be turning the rest into Archons, go Archon Colossus. Not a strategy you see all that much, but hey, it's a strategy nonetheless. And we have so many gateways coming in right here. And wow, somebody's finally, 2 people are both of them are supply blocked right now, and in a big way. However, our Protoss player did just alleviate that really quickly, and he's now actually just fully alleviated that for another, I would say 30 seconds or so. Our Terran player is still just trying to get the supply depots up. He's got 2 of them being built at a time, and now he starts the armory for the 2-2, but he actually does have 2 engineering bases. He can actually go for maybe high-sec auto-tracking in the meantime while he's waiting for the armory to finish. Definitely not an upgrade you see all that much, but it will help your planetary, will help the missile turrets, and it'll help, I believe, as well, it helps the point defense drones, rather. That's the one I was looking for. I was to see Combat Shield just finishes about the 13-minute mark, so that's relatively late for Combat Shield. In the meantime, we got a nice force cancel. I believe that was a force cancel, at least, by our Terran player for, forcing that Nexus to be canceled. No, actually, it wasn't canceled. It was just killed. So, very good play by him. As we do see the 2 DTs still in this army composition, just there to be a menace and force scans unnecessarily by our Terran player. We do see a nice Widow Mine placement here. Excuse me, it won't do all that much, but it will just delay pushes from moving out a little bit. We got another Widow Mine placed down here. It did detonate, but it didn't actually kill anything. This one did kill something though. Also have to remember that Widow Mines do extra damage versus shields. 125 damage plus 35 versus shields. They do one-shot Stalkers, but they should not one-shot Zealots, and they don't one-shot Mothership Cores and Colossus. So that's pretty good, because right now all we see out of our Protoss player is Zealots, DTs, Archons, and Colossus. Our Terran player actually doesn't even have any Vikings, so this is gonna be, his army is gonna die relatively quickly to the Colossus. And do they have the extended thermal lens upgrade? No, they do not, but he's working on that, so he should be chronoing that out. Would be actually wise for him to chrono that out, because it is a relatively long research time. However, he will have his 1-1 done a little bit before the 2-2 hits for the Terran player, but he's definitely behind in that aspect as far as his upgrades are concerned. Nice scan here, catching the observer out, but that will give our Protoss player just a few seconds of heads up knowing what's going to happen. And these Colossus right now raking in the kills. Same thing with the DTs here. Sure, that's a nice spread by our Terran player rather, but when you have DTs in the mix and you don't have enough energy for skin, you're just going to be forced to run like our Terran player is right here. And that Archon just completely out of position, and I've got no idea what that was doing there. And surprisingly, all the Colossus survive. This Colossus has 11 kills, this one has 1 kill, this has 6, and this one has 5. Yeah, that was pretty much the entire Marine force just cut in half in like 2 swipes. There we go, more Marines getting killed right here. We got the Marauders dying, and this is a nice push right here by our Protoss player, pushing out with Zealot, Dark Templar, and Colossus. And we now see still no Vikings actually. They're actually being produced right now. And the DTs are being morphed into more Archons. And that's a very good play by our Protoss player, but you know, it'll be enough to save a Colossus, but just for another few seconds. If more Vikings come out, which they are on the way, they will be able to kill another Colossus or 2. And actually Marauder up here on the ramp does snipe it, and that's going to be a dead natural for our Terran player. And actually, our Protoss player is pushing up the ramp here with an Immortal, Colossus, Archon, and Zealot. That's a pretty BA force if I've ever seen one. The Archon is going to town on the Vikings. The Colossus dragging kills left and right. However, it's focusing on the engineering bay, which that's probably the worst decision instead of focusing on the SCVs. You know, kill as many SCVs as possible, but looks like this game's going to be all but over very soon here. I mean, let's just look at the supplies really quick. 39 SCVs and still plummeting here. The Zealot's just doing a big chunk of damage, even to 2-2 Marines. Zealot legs are almost done. The 2-2 for the Protoss is almost done. There goes the natural, and the Zealots over here just still killing away the SCVs. So there's no SCVs left to mine at the natural. There's very little left in the main. Where are all the SCVs? Did they just all die? No, looks like they are... Oh, they're all down here. But in the meantime, anyway, we've got DT still going in here, and they will just completely wreck the rest of this army here for our Terran player. They do about 50 damage per swipe. That's before the armor kicks in of the Terran player's 2-2. And we got the Rig armor on here, and GG by our Terran player. INFMistaWurm wins that. In a very convincing fashion, that is, too. Let's just take a quick look at the units lost here. If I can, remember the button. There we go. So, units lost. 44 workers for our Terran player. Only 14 lost for our Protoss. not bad for the Protoss. You know, maybe a Hellbat drop would have rectified that, or even a Widow Mine drop. However, the medevacs were being used to, you know, keep the Marines and Marauders alive, which can't blame them for trying to do that. It's just, you know, you have to do some harassment to the Protoss, otherwise, when they get onto 3 bases like this, it's just very, very difficult to actually stop them, regardless of if their main is mined out. Look at this. Mineral patches, 30 minerals, and 30 minerals as well. 9 probes on that one, 10 on this one. And then the natural's starting to get mined out. The 3rd base, still relatively full here. You got about 1,000 per, you know, give or take. And he's still getting gas from all 3 assimilators. Or all 6 assimilators, rather, 2 per base. The tech here for our Protoss player was very, very good. He was working on his 3-3, I believe. Or working on his 3 ground armor and just about to finish up his level 2 ground weapons. Whereas just the standard 2-2 of our Terran player, and really not much else. The combat shields was very, very delayed due to the tech lab dying over here at the start, and that was just unneeded. He could have repaired that and saved it, and had his combat shields out about, what, 9 minutes in? Which that's a relatively safe timing, but regardless, we got the GG there, and congrats to our Protoss player here. Now that the game's done and everything, guys, I do want to go ahead and say I am accepting Starcraft 2 and DotA 2 replays. You can go ahead and email them to sgamingtech@gmail.com. You can copy and paste what I have in the description down below. That is my email. Go ahead and email those to me. I'll go ahead and cast them for you. And I do have another game from INFMistaWurm. If you want to check that other game out, click the annotation in the top right, because that'll bring you to the INF YouTube main page, which I'm a part of the group. You know, we're not really a clan, we're just a group of people that, you know, enjoy playing games together. And, you know, I'm not biased whatsoever. I'm taking any replays, whether you win or lose, I don't care. You know, it's more exposure for all of us, you know? So if you want me to cast your replays, go ahead and send them to me for DotA 2 or Starcraft 2. I'll cast them to the best of my abilities, and we can all have fun. Other than that, again, if you want to check out the other game, click the annotation in the top right, and it'll take you to that video on the Infinity Gaming YouTube channel. Other than that, my name has been MaRiJaH, and I will talk to you all next time.